stop scrolling right now. You are not going to believe the absolute political earthquake that just dropped, and mainstream channels are barely scratching the surface of what it means. Look closely at this.
To take the fight to Donald Trump and the oligarchy, we will not wait! We will not wait to abolish ICE and pass Medicare for all!
Wait, did you catch that? Listen to the pure, unadulterated energy in that room. This isn't just a quiet victory speech. This is a massive declaration of intent from a newly elected official. She literally just unseated a 30-year incumbent, and the very first thing on the agenda is going straight for the jugular. Calling out the oligarchy and making aggressive demands to abolish ICE and pass Medicare for all immediately sets a hostile tone for the upcoming session. You have to realize how wild this shift is for Colorado politics. It's a complete paradigm shift from establishment norms to radical, unapologetic socialist policies being shouted into the microphone. The establishment wasn't ready for this level of mobilization, and now they have to face the music on the main stage.
The important aspects of this is that there is this tech tycoon named Neville Roy Singham living in China who has pumped $285 million into nonprofits, including one of the nonprofits that Hassan Piker accompanied called Code Pink. And the big question on that front is whether these nonprofits are acting as agents of malign foreign influence.
Hold on. Look at the sheer scale of the numbers being dropped on national television right here. We are talking about $285 million being funneled directly from Shanghai into American political nonprofits. That is an astronomical amount of capital designed to quietly influence domestic policy and shift cultural narratives without anyone noticing. Notice how they specifically mention Code Pink, a group that has been highly visible in recent protests. It raises massive red flags when foreign-based tech tycoons are acting as the shadow bankers for stateside activist groups. This completely changes how we have to view grassroots movements. Are they actually organic, or are they just highly funded operations executing a foreign playbook? The implications here are staggering when you consider how easily money can bypass traditional political action committees and go straight into the hands of disruptors.
Last decade, the grand jury action follows how Singham pumped $285 million from his base in Shanghai into a Goldman Sachs philanthropy fund and two shell corporations that then fed the money into a constellation of nonprofit organizations, media operations, and activist groups pushing sectarian division, identity politics, and support for social.
Pay extremely close attention to the specific mechanics of this money laundering operation being detailed here. The text outlines a highly sophisticated web, moving funds from a base in Shanghai, pushing it through a Goldman Sachs philanthropy fund, and then funneling it into two distinct shell corporations. This is cartel-level financial obfuscation being used for political warfare. By the time the money actually reaches the constellation of nonprofit organizations on the ground, its origins are completely washed and hidden from the public eye. These aren't just amateur donations. This is a highly weaponized financial architecture designed specifically to push sectarian division and identity politics across the nation. It shows that the people organizing these disruptions are incredibly well-resourced and possess a deep understanding of exploiting American corporate loopholes to achieve their ideological goals. Okay, pause and really process the wording used in this official statement. Donald Trump is framing this entire political climate not as a standard partisan disagreement, but as an existential, historic battle. He states outright that communists are finally making their move and that he has been preparing for this exact scenario for a very long time. It's a direct rallying cry that bypasses all the usual political jargon. When a former president says the game is on and tells people to enjoy watching, It signals a shift from defensive posturing to total offensive warfare. This isn't a casual late-night post. This is a calculated narrative anchor. He is setting the stage for his base, defining the enemy in the absolute starkest terms possible, and essentially promising a massive counteroffensive against these newly funded far-left factions.
DOJ launches grand jury probe into Marxist mogul Neville Roy Singham's funding of leftist groups. Grand jury has issued subpoenas in DOJ investigation led by U.S. Attorney James Clayton in the Southern District of New York. Now, for anyone who follows criminal...
Look at the headline right there. The Department of Justice is literally launching a grand jury probe. This is not a right-wing conspiracy theory anymore. This is a federal criminal investigation being spearheaded out of the Southern District of New York. They are actively issuing subpoenas to follow the money trail left by Neville Roy Singham. You have to understand that the SDNY does not mess around. They are known as the heavy hitters of federal prosecution. If they are stepping in, it means they have serious, actionable intelligence regarding illicit financial flows or potential unregistered foreign agent activity. This probe completely legitimizes the concerns about foreign influence in domestic progressive movements. It's a massive escalation that threatens to expose the entire financial nervous system of these radical organizations and potentially put key figures behind bars. Take a second and read that comparison carefully, because the stakes do not get any higher than this. Trump is openly equating the current political threat to Pearl Harbor and the tragedy of 9/11. That is incredibly heavy rhetoric. By placing this ideological battle on the exact same tier as the most devastating attacks in American history, he is demanding that his followers treat this with wartime urgency. It completely eliminates any middle ground. You are either recognizing this massive, covert financial infiltration, or you are ignoring a historic crisis. This framing is designed to unify a fractured base against a single, identifiable enemy. It's a masterclass in escalating political stakes, transforming a complex financial scandal into a visceral, life-or-death patriotic duty for the upcoming election cycle. This situation is moving fast. Hit subscribe right now to stay ahead of the fallout.